Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Devils United. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Devils United. Just doing a quick stream today just to discuss the recent news, what has just been announced today. At 7 pm today, there was an announcement that the board of Manchester United was coming together in an emergency meeting to discuss the future of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It has been announced by several sources today that the board has come to a conclusion in terms of Ole's fate at Manchester United, and the fate was to look at getting Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the sack from Manchester United. This is due to be announced officially in the next 48 hours' time once it has been looked over by Joel Glazer. But until then, it is going to be a waiting game on what is going to happen. All I would want to say, I would like to wish Ole Gunnar Solskjaer all the best in the future, because I know when he did first come to the club after the sacking of Jose Mourinho, he had a big, massive step in his hands. He did have, of course, the splitting in the dressing room. He also had as well there needed to build up the trust of the players, learning a different kind of style of football, which is going to be completely different as the players were used to defensive-minded football. And of course, when you do look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's style of football, it was more that attacking player football. Of course, once it did take quite a while to get that trust back with these players. It got a lot of time to be where we are today because our team has been rebuilt massively. We've brought in the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo back in our squad. We've got Varane, who is a world class that centre back. You've also got Jadon Sancho, who is our new right wing player at Manchester United. So in terms of everything he has done so far at the club and how he has rebuilt the team, you can do nothing more but thank Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for everything he has done for us. And once Ole Gunnar Solskjaer announcement has been announced, there is going to be rumours that Darren Fletcher will be taking over as interim manager. If that's going to be just for a couple of games until we do find a manager, or if that's going to be for the rest of the season, I'm not too sure at this moment in time. So it'll be interesting to see on how Darren Fletcher will take this team forward, if that's going to be for the next couple of games, if that's going to be till the end of the season. I'm not too sure about that. But there has been some rumour managers which people are aware of. And the first manager I will look at, it is Ten Hag, who is currently the Ajax manager. Ten Hag, he does have that experience in terms of the youth players. He has brought quite a few youth players into Ajax. He's won several trophies at Ajax, having roughly around 5 trophies at Ajax. He's got Ajax to a Champions League semi-final several years ago before they did get knocked out by Tottenham Hotspur. He is one of the fans' current favourites to have, and he does have that attacking minded football, and his philosophy is quite great overall. For me, I wouldn't mind having Ten Hag as a manager. I think he would bring that youth courage success of what Manchester United is known for, but there is several other options. if, for example, we are looking at approaching Ten Hag, we would need to look at sorting out his contract with Ajax, because he will need to end his contract with Ajax, and then we'd have to go from there. So if he is going to join the club, that will probably be more on the summer basis rather than a right now basis. But if the Glazers are 100% certain on getting this man, then they would need to look at doing something with Ajax to bring him at the club. The second option we do have here is Zidane. Zidane has had experience with Real Madrid's B team and Real Madrid's first team. He has won 3 Champions Leagues with Real Madrid. He is the third manager in history to win 3 Champions Leagues at the same club, and that was the same with Ancelotti and Bob Paisley. He has as well got that, you've seen that 4-3-3 kind of formation with Zidane. He's more of a serial winner in terms of getting that La Liga, winning the league, winning some other trophies. He's got that more of that attitude on him, whereas perhaps maybe the players may listen to Zidane, but that is also another option. Unlike Ten Hag, Zidane does not have a contract with a club. He currently has no contract. He's currently not in work. So he could be a possible option to take. We haven't heard much about Zidane, if he would be coming to the club or if he won't be coming to the club. The reason for that is people think that there is rumours going around about his wife not wanting to live in Manchester. But who doesn't like Manchester? It's a lovely, lovely city to live in, isn't it? But that is also an option Manchester United can take, and we don't have to worry about another club's contract. The third manager to look at, it is Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers is currently at Leicester City. He's got that Premier League experience. He's got European experience. He has recently won a trophy with Leicester. He has won the FA Cup, and he's also won the Community Shield. So you do know that he does have that winning mentality in him, not including, of course, what he has done at Celtic. He does have that back three kind of system, which we have noticed a lot at Leicester City. For us, we've done that back three a couple of times. It hasn't worked, but would it work under a different manager? Who knows about that? So that'd be interesting to see. Brendan Rodgers personally wouldn't be my number one choice, but it would be good to see on that. We have got Talk MU in the building. Hello, Talk. How are you?
Evening, Maisy. Yeah, interesting news. It's not been confirmed by the club yet, but
No.
it's coming from sources that you kind of are credible, etc. So it's, and to be fair, I suppose it was inevitable. It was, and I think I said during the watch along that it looks like he's waving goodbye to the fans. I think he knew himself, that the game was up for him. And you know what? Listen, I still respect him. I still love him as a player, and he's built a good squad and everything else, and he's done some good things for us. So it's not been a total failure. It's just this last run, it just went. We did get stuck in the mud. There's no two ways about it. So it needed, we need to be pulled out. And yeah, I feel for him, but you know what? I'm sure he will go back to Norway, or he may get a championship position. I don't know. He'll get back into football. No two ways about it. But in terms of the replacements here that you're discussing, I mean, there's names being bandied about that it could be Fletcher and Michael Carrick till the end of the season. I mean, I agree with what Adam McCullough was just saying on the Stretford paddock, which was, what's the point in that? You know what I mean? You might as well have just left Ollie in charge if you're going to put them two in. That's just ridiculous.
Exactly, you can't have Darren Fletcher in. I was checking Darren Fletcher. He has zero manager experience.
Yeah,
you wouldn't want to bring someone in who's got zero experience whatsoever.
No, it can't. And this again, this is like, for me, it's Ed Woodward. He's got a lot to answer for at our club over the last however many years it has been in charge, 10 years or whatever, 11 years, I don't know more. And it's There should have been moves made. There should have been things put in place. Because, like I said about the discussion that was had, why it took 5 hours. I'll tell you why it took 5 hours, and probably still now why they've not come out with it is waiting to get hold of Joe Glazier. But I bet they're still trying to get hold of him. They've made the decision in the board, and then if it's a majority decision, and it's like, okay, well, he's just got to say, okay, well, yeah, you voted for it, so I've got to just give it the nod, and they can't get hold of him. It'll take 5 hours, Maisy. Look at like I said, the Liverpool result, the performances leading up to that result, the Man City result, right, and then the Atalanta.
And Leicester didn't help neither. That was a 4-2 defeat as well.
Yeah, and then bang. They knew then at that point that the conversation that was had after that, when there was talk and everybody was thinking he was going to get sacked, then a lot of what was needed to be said was what should have been already been said. The ones who were holding out for Ole, who were holding their vote and their veto, whoever they were, saying no, give him X amount or whatever. Everybody else would have been like, well, okay, then you've got the whatever power you've got to veto this, and we'll go with what you say for now. But everything that was said previously would have stood. So them ones who did do that, when the time comes like now, this evening after that result, they would have had their heads in their hands like, oh God, it's right. And that's it, that's it. It's got to go right, that's it, it's done. And it's like I say, you've got to then get in touch with Joe Glazier. He's obviously the henchman, he's the one who's gonna make the final decision or whatever. But I don't, it makes no sense to me because it should have already been. All this should have been already discussed. Like if
it should have been done ages ago.
If this result now, if they've discussed it and said, right, Ollie, look, blah blah blah, Man City, Liverpool, Newcastle, Leicester, crap. You've got this game now after this break. You're going to go away. You're going to let them rest. You're going to bring them back. If you do not win that game, that is it. That is done. It should have been already agreed with Joel Glazer. I don't get it. This shows how poorly we're run. It's just ridiculous.
Exactly. Honestly, with Ollie, I do respect for everything he has done for the club. We was in such a bad place under Jose Mourinho, knowing how the players were feeling, because I think there was probably low, especially some players who had them run-ins with Jose Mourinho. So he did have a big job on his hands to build that trust with the players and to build this kind of philosophy back into Manchester United, because I think in ways he was trying to bring a bit of a Sir Alex Ferguson approach, bringing that more of attacking football, bringing more youth into the squad, because no other manager after Sir Alex Ferguson minus Ollie really brought in the youth players. Really. So I can see what he was trying to do, and it did work. He was brilliant in building this team up, but you can have a great manager who can build up, and then there's a manager who can take it to the next step as well. And it's just a shame that that's not been the case for Ole.
It's just, I mean, for me, it's, you know what, you look at it for what it is. It's like, he was a great man manager. The players loved him, right? And probably they do still love him. And also, I meant when I say loved him, as if he's like, he's dead. He's not. They do still love him. They still love him. But it's the ability to create an attitude and a mentality that gives you the confidence and the belief that you are the best and you will win. You're better than them. That's what's missing right now, right here. And that's been evident in the performances as they've slipped down. That belief and that mentality has gone. It's slowly ebbed away, and the plug, or whatever you want to say, has had a leak in it, and it's slowly drained away. And we're now, even after the Liverpool game and the Man City result, we were flat on our faces. And I said at the time, is Ollie strong enough to pick these guys up off the floor? And clearly he wasn't. He was just not strong enough to do that. He hasn't got the ability to do that, because he's obviously, he hasn't instilled what needed to be instilled in the first place. So he can't then, when they're totally flat on the floor, he can't then bring it in, because there's no way they're going to have any faith in him and any belief in what they're trying to do. So, and I also agree with, I can't remember who said it, but somebody else said that, if Ollie goes, a lot of them have got to go. Phelan, Carrick, McKenna.
Yeah, everyone. That was actually a question on my first comment here from Niall, asking if there was any news about the coaching staff following him out. And it's always with, when you do bring new managers, they do tend to bring in new coaches as well. So it'll be interesting to see on if we actually do keep Michael Carrick. I think Mike Phelan actually did come under Ole. So I think he'll definitely be on,
There's
really.
no way,
Cause,
mate. There's no way Zinedine Zidane or Ten Hag or Rangnick are going to say, "Oh yeah, well, yeah, I can work with them guys." No way. The part of the deal here is, look, you take me and you take my staff. Simple. So you know what? What they're going to do now with them guys? Who knows? I mean, for me, if they've contracted to the club and they can't sack them for any sort of breach of contracts or anything like that, then so what? You paid them what you've said you're going to pay them, but you moved them into the back down into the B team reserves, whatever, right? You push them down the pecking order, and you let whoever's coming in bring in what they need to bring in order to get this team, in some kind of fight that is going to get us at minimum top four. We need top four now. That is the goal. So, and also we're still in the Champions League and the FA Cup, so there's still things to fight for and play for. So, you know what? You cannot do that with. It's not even a possibility that they're going to bring in a manager who's going to say, "Yeah, I'm going to work with them guys who failed under Ollie."
of course.
No way.
You need to look at Chelsea. When they sacked Frank Lampard, they was quite low down in the league. I think they was about 7th or 8th. And they managed to still finish, I think it was about 4th place at the end of the season, and they still won the Champions League under Tuchel. So anything is still possible because we're still in the running for, and there was obviously in the FA Cup final as well. So even whoever we do bring in next, you let me know who you actually would prefer to bring in as the next person, by the way. And it'd be interesting to see on if we actually do get far in the Champions League and if we actually do end up winning a trophy as well under this different manager, especially knowing that they've got a clean slate with the FA Cup. They've not got anything to do with Ollie with the FA Cup whatsoever this time. So it's all down to them, this one.
For me, I think there's only one. My first choice is Zidane. It's a no-brainer. I mean, look, Niall, I know what you're saying there, bro, about, it supposedly, allegedly doesn't speak English, but listen, I'm sure he knows some English. You're not telling me a player of his caliber and what he's done in the game and where he's been and blah blah.
Rumours suggest that he was learning to speak it as well.
Yeah, he'll soon pick it up. There's no two ways about it. And so what? You know what? If he has to have a translator, so what? It's such a big deal.
Bielsa does. Exactly. Bielsa does. And have you seen Bielsa? He's an amazing manager.
Yeah, exactly. And what the thing here is, Maisy, is like I said before, is no disrespect to Brendan Rodgers, but if Brendan Rodgers and Zinedine Zidane walk through the door and you say to the players, who do you want? Yo, big up Niall. And you ask who do you want? Yo, big up Luca. Who are they going to say? There's no two ways about it. They're all going to go point looking at Zidane with their mouths open like, wow, this is the guy who won 3 back-to-back Champions Leagues. The first one to do it in the Champions League era. No other manager has done that in the Champions League era. In the European Cup era, there has been 2 others, right? So, and he didn't just do that. He did, La Ligas and other Super Cups and stuff like that. So, for me, if they can go out if they can't get Zidane, if Zidane is umming and ahhing, and I'm not, no, we have to be strong as a club now. Make it clear that, listen, we're offering it. If you don't want it, do one then. If you don't want it, on your bike and go all out to get Ten Hag. He's the next choice.
Yeah, he's my first choice.
You've got to get him. You've got to drag him out of Ajax, right? Give them whatever it is they want in compensation. Give him the package that he wants. Give him the promise of whatever funds he says he's going to need, and get him in. One of those two for me. I think it'd be very unfair to try and entice Brendan Rodgers with a carrot on a stick and drag him out of that Leicester job where he's doing okay. To be fair, he's doing okay. It's not brilliant, as the Leicester fans will agree, but it wouldn't be fair, in my opinion, to lure him out of there with like a cat with one of those furry little toys. Chase this. Because for me, I don't think it would work out for him. I really don't. I think he may get us into the top 6, or maybe even possibly the top 4, but I can't see that he would win. I don't see it. I just don't, I'm afraid. And like I say, that's no disrespect to him. You know what I mean? He's done great things he did well at Liverpool, he did well at Swansea, he did well in Scotland, and he's doing a pretty decent job now at Leicester. But Obviously, it wasn't too good for them today. But so for me, it has to be one of those two. Or the third choice, if it comes to it, is Rangnick.
Yeah. Yeah, and for everyone who wonders who Rangnick looks like, there is what he looks like, everybody. He is an ex-Leipzig manager.
Yeah, he's the guy who sort of invented, I'll say. But I mean, he didn't really invent it. He just kind of formulated the Gegenpress, at that Jurgen Klopp likes to use, and other managers. And it's a great way of playing football because, like I said, it's banging on about for years. What the way it works is it's about taking risks, putting faith in your forward players that you will create chances, and they will score those chances. So it turns into a numbers game of, okay, look, if we create 4 chances in a game, we're going to score minimum 2. If the opposition create 4 chances, how many are they going to score? Possibly 1, possibly. Right? That's most. So when you do the numbers, it works out that you are always going to have the advantage because of the way you're playing, and so you never. And it doesn't matter if you get so what, they're going to get a couple of chances at our goal. So what? But we're going to have more than them, and we're going to convert more than them. So you're always like Liverpool. That's what they do. They know. They ain't too. Listen, I bet if you could ask Jurgen Klopp, are you concerned about when teams get chances against you? He'll laugh and say, no. That's the nature of football. Why? How do you expect anybody to do well in football if you're not going to take risks and put faith in your forward players who can convert chances into goals? Because that's what you need to win a game. So therefore, that's what you have to do, and that's what we need at Man United in this era right now. We've gone through the 4-4-2. We've gone through the counter attack, but then went through the 4-3-3. Then we've gone through the Jose and the Moyes and the blah blahs. So, but now it's time to adapt. It's now a time to adapt into, if you want to be a team that's successful, you have to play in a style that is going to accommodate that goal. And the only way you can do that, like I say, is playing a really attacking, aggressive style of football.
Yes, I agree. Niall touched on what I actually mentioned before, because there was rumours what suggested Zidane's wife didn't want to live in Manchester. Did you hear about them rumours as well?
Say that again, sorry.
Zidane's wife doesn't want to live in Manchester, and that is putting Zidane off from the Manchester United job.
Well, look, I mean, you know what? Can you listen? She's, I don't know who's Zidane's wife is, but I know obviously she's probably French, I should imagine. And you know what? When you've lived in the kind of places that they've lived in, France is an amazing place, to live. Your Paris, Marseille, any big major cities in France are delightful. They're absolutely delightful. And you know what? My missus, like I said, is half French, and it's, you go there and it's a different, totally different world, different lifestyle. You don't see teenage kids running around drunk, being idiots. You don't see it. Why? You know why? Because they get introduced to wine and stuff after meals and everything from a young age. And
that's very true.
That's what I'm doing with my son, and he's only 12. So you know what I mean. But I wouldn't blame her if that's the case, and he's not going to be. I wouldn't want Zidane coming in and doing a Jose Mourinho and saying, "Okay, well, I'm going to come in and live in an hotel and I'll give it my best shot." No. That would be a huge mistake. The only way we take Zidane is if he says, "Yeah, I want to do it. My family's behind me. The family are going to support me," because then we know we can concentrate 100% on the job. And that was half the problem with Jose Mourinho. How could he? And I said this when the news came out about him living in a hotel. I said, how can he concentrate and give it his 100% when his family are not even with him?
They lived in Chelsea at the time, didn't they, near the Chelsea ground, whereas he was living in a hotel, and then he came back so many days a week to see his family.
It can't work like that, Maisy, when you're doing a job like that. If you're a spoon salesman and you've got to go around the country trying to sell spoons, you know what I mean? You've got to stay in hotels and then you go back at a weekend to see your family. Fair enough. You know what I mean? If that's what you got to do to earn the corn. But when you're talking about being a manager of Manchester United, that cannot work. You need the backing of your family. You need the support and the love of your family. So when things get a little bit tough and things haven't worked out in a game or blah, blah, you can go home and it's there. That support network is there for you. Not a hotel on the phone and all that. It's nonsense. So, like I say, for me, if Zidane is not backed by his wife and his family, he probably won't take it. That's probably the crux of it. He probably will say, look, I just can't do it. I can't give you my 100%. And to be fair, that's what United should be asking. Are you going to give us, if you are going to consider this role, it has to be 100%, and you have to be, it has to be, come to Manchester, settle down, get into a house and do it right. We should learn from these mistakes like we've done with Mourinho and etc. So, and if he's not interested, then you know what, move on to the next one. Like I say, Ten Hag.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can't prize him away from Ajax, Rangnick. Surely we can get one of those three managers, surely.
Of course. And there was a last rumoured manager which I didn't mention, and that was
Laurent
Poch. He was another rumoured manager for Manchester United.
But he's not been sacked, has he, from Paris?
No, he hasn't been sacked from Paris, but he's still been rumoured because apparently the board are interested in Poch. I know he's been at Spurs. He got him to a Champions League final. He's not doing the best at PSG. The first time they've not won the league in so long last season. Not won the Champions League. I wouldn't have Poch.
No, I don't
whatsoever.
want Poch. Honestly, I don't. We're going to be going round in circles if we do that. We need to go in a whole new direction. And like I say, you know what? Jose Mourinho, look, he let his personality get the better of him. And after the Chelsea incident with the doctor, I can't remember the lady's name. So sorry about that. But whatever the lady's name was, when he had that incident with her and the players, that was the moment when everything just went south on Jose Mourinho. And so he went away and he's come back and it sits up again, blah, blah. Didn't work out at United. And, again, yeah, it's a risk with Zinedine Zidane. But like I say, for me, if he's 100% behind it, then you've got to go for him. But if it can't be him, it's got to be one of those two others for me. Mm-hmm. Because what does Pochettino bring to United?
Nothing at all.
He's not going to bring that. Is he going to bring the type of football that Ten Hag would bring, or Rangnick?
No, I question what does Poch do at PSG when you've got an amazing squad. You've got Messi, you've got Ramos, you've got Mbappe, and you're not doing anything with your team. I think they've drew a game against Club Brugge as well in the Champions League, and that is a game that should be a win.
That's not good. That is, you know what I mean? And this is the problem you've got. So what do you say? Oh, Paris are a bigger club than Man United. Are they? Fuck.
No.
Don't let anyone ever even consider making that comparison, because they're not. So you're telling me that it's not quite worked out with him because he's got this player, he's got that player and that player. But bring him to United because he'll do it there. No, he won't. He didn't do it at Spurs. He had the chance. He bottled it. And he's not doing it in Paris as it looks. And you know what? Maybe Paris are in a bit of a flap panic mode now because of the money they're paying their big stars, i.e. Messi. Mm-hmm. They need to make sure that they do well in the Champions League. So they'll big up Mel. You know what I mean? So for me, no, I don't want to. I'm not interested in Poch. It's one of those three for me. And again, there is another name that's being bantered about till the end of the season. Laurent Blanc, if I mentioned. Did I mention him?
Yes. You touched on him. If you want to go in a little bit more further about him, I don't know too much about him in terms of his managerial experience. So if you want to touch on him.
Well, I don't either, to be honest. Totally honest with you. It's not, you don't really ever sort of keep track of other managers there when you support Man United. You know what I mean? Under Fergie and everything else. But I know I think he did well at a couple of clubs in France, quite well at a couple of clubs in France. He may well be the answer till it's sorted out with the permanent position being resolved. Because for me, like I said before, I don't want to see Darren Fletcher standing in that dugout. No way. The players, surely, how can you play? Look, you talk about new manager bounce. That's like, it's not even a bounce, it's a roll.
What if he won every single game? Does that mean they keep Darren Fletcher?
No, but like you said, Maisy, he has no
experience.
No experience whatsoever. And we're going into Champions League, right? We're going into Champions League game that we must really, we need to win, really, against Villarreal, who are a real pain in the ass. Mr. Good Evening, he's going to be rubbing his hands together right now thinking, ooh, we've got this. We've boosted their confidence in what's happened or what is happening. As I will state once more, this is not actually been confirmed by the club yet. So you know what? It's probably is true, but we've just got to bear in our mind that it may not be. Joel Glazer says, "No, I'm not happy with about this. I think we should wait till after the Champions League game. There's going to be a lot of egg on a lot of faces." But you know what I mean? We'll just have to wait. We'll find out tomorrow morning, I'm sure. But
I just want to say thank you so much for coming on at such short notice.
no, listen, I seen the tweet because I seen the news. I was just talking to my son and whatnot, and before he went to bed, and whilst he was brushing his teeth and that, I looked at Twitter, and I seen the Fabrizio. Hello, Nick. I seen the Fabrizio tweet, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Well, I did say that. I did say today. Then I'm not so long. It's probably going to happen today.
Yeah, you did. I mean, Mr. B was in disbelief.
Yeah, but I mean, look, it had to be done. The decision had to be made, and it gives the players now, they can. All right, yeah, they will be gutted, like I said, because they do love Ollie. There's no two ways about that, But this is more than a friendship thing. This is like a, it's a massive thing in, like you say, playing for Man United. This is about your career. This is about your future prospects, and everything else. So they will. I'm sure he'll get bombarded with support and love from the team, but they will now be thinking, right now, we just fresh start, and they will probably, in training, when they go to training, if they go training tomorrow, well, that's an interesting thought. Do you think they'll go to training tomorrow?
It's a hard one. Maybe so, maybe not. That'd be an interesting one.
I mean, what do you do in that situation? They've just been.
You think that they'd have to, because we'd be flying to Spain on Monday.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, they can do a bit of. When do we play on Tuesday?
Yeah, we play Tuesday, and it's an early kickoff, 6:45.
Yeah, so they need to be in training tomorrow. Then there's no two ways about that. So who's going to take the training tomorrow? You know who it's going to be. It's going to be Michael Carrick, Darren Fletcher, and McKenna. Now, again, for me, if I was the player there, and you turn up to training and you just see them three and no Ollie Gunnar Solskjaer, you're going to be thinking, wait a minute, it's not the clean break he was looking for, is it?
Of course.
And I know there's no other. I know what people will say, but who else is going to take the coaching? But I don't know, man. It's a total mess, and it is. It's a mess.
It is a mess, a complete mess, and
sorting quick in terms of
it does.
Getting somebody in.
It does need sorting. I'll end it here for now because it is getting late, 12:15 in the morning. I can see that there is a new person in the chat, Honest YouTube, and I just want to say big up to you. Thank you for tuning in. I just want to say big thank you very much to Talk, my right-hand man, always here to support me. And just want to say to everyone who's tuned in, wrote in their comments, my queen, Brad, Niall, Doug, Melina, Dan, Sonny, thank you all so much for tuning in at this time of hour, because I know it is getting late. I was in my gym jams and everything beforehand. So I just want to say thank you all so much. And just like it said in the comments, please hit the like and subscribe button. I am close to 300 subscribers now. I'm only 12 away. So please hit the like and subscribe button. But until then, I will see you all soon. Goodbye.
Ciao.